Okay, so I'm going to start sharing my screen. And then we can get started. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so thank you all so much for joining me this evening. I'm Catherine. I have been helping people learn about these essential oils now for 5.5 years. I was a primary teacher before that, and I absolutely love helping people. And I think that it's one of those things, when you discover something that has such a massive impact on your life, you can't help but share them. And these oils have just completely empowered us as a family for whatever would come our way. There's an oil that can support us, literally down to, you know, falling in stinging nettles, or, you know, falling over, or coughs or colds, or any of those sorts of things that crop up, but even to some really, really serious things that we've been able to deal with as a family. So I'm really excited to get to share this with you, and, you know, be able to impart some of the knowledge that I have, and help you kind of discover really what doTERRA essential oils are all about. So basically what we're going to talk about it is about empowering you, and it's about the 3 great things about these essential oils, 3 ways to use these essential oils, and how to get them in your home. Now, we always love giveaways and prizes, so at the end of me talking about the really 3 cool things about the essential oils, I will ask you to put it in the chat, the 3 cool things. So if you want to take notes, please feel free to take notes. And then again, I will ask the 3 ways to use the oils in your home. So if you want to take notes and just so you up your chances, then please do grab a pen and paper. So what I would like to really think about is your top health concerns. What are the 3 things that you have going on that you would really love for these oils to be able to help you with? Now, that could be anxious feelings, that could be pain, that could be digestive issues, whatever it is that you've actually got going on, write those down. So your priorities. These are points maybe that are really frustrating you and that you would like something that can help. And actually, if we have a natural alternative, then that would be really exciting. So we're going to look at those now. So why do we need doTERRA essential oils in our home? So on this screen, you can see quite a large number of statistics. And these are not nice statistics, and they're things that, you know, we want to kind of manage what we have going on to help us to combat against quite a few of these things. And so that is really why these things are really, really why the foundation of why we need doTERRA in our homes. But the really, really awesome thing about it is that it's a choice. We get to have this additional choice. There is something else we can use. Now, the modern approach is you get a symptom, you will normally go to the doctor with that symptom, and you may have something prescribed for that symptom. And the really frustrating thing about that is very often that symptom may be improved, but actually a secondary side effect might occur. And then you'll go back to the doctors, and then they may prescribe something else for that secondary symptom. And it's this really vicious cycle that goes round and round, and it's super frustrating. And basically, what doTERRA want to support us with is kind of changing that up a bit. The crazy thing is, in this cycle of symptoms as opposed to root cause, we're spending an absolute fortune and we're not actually getting any healthier. Whereas if we can use a natural approach, a super safe natural approach for this, then actually we're looking at the root cause, and then the symptoms, they are then affected, because actually, for example, if it's tension, head tension, for example, this may come from really tight muscles here, that may come from anxious feelings. So actually, if we're able to support with those anxious feelings, then we will actually reduce those secondary symptoms. So if you have an oil with you, whether it be wild orange or wild orange and peppermint, these are 2 of my favorite ones to use. especially in the hot weather. So do 1 drop just now of wild orange or whatever oil that you have, and then a drop of peppermint, and then we're going to rub our hands together. And then you take a big deep breath. Big breaths, and close your eyes a bit if you want, because the peppermint's really strong. And what you're doing is you're opening those airways, then rub it on the back of your neck. This is a really nice one to use right now, especially if it's hot, because it can help cool you down. Okay, so why would we do that? What does this actually do for our mood? So the wild orange is a really powerful one to support. Now, I spoke about tension and that kind of anxious feelings. Wild orange is such a powerful mood lifter. We have 1 synapse from here to the limbic part of our brain where our emotions and our memories are stored. Have you ever smelt something and it's made you think of Christmas, or it's made you think of something? And that's because they are directly linked. It's a really powerful thing connected to our emotions. And so what we can then do with this, in that 1 synapse to that part of the brain, so the limbic part of the brain, is actually changing things. It's altering. It's completely actually creating a chain effect from that. So when we breathe that in, it's such a powerful tool that we can utilize. If we're getting up in the morning and we're feeling a little bit low, or even throughout the day, if there's, you know, obviously a lot at the moment is more difficult. So this is a really powerful tool that you can actually use. And what it does is it increases serotonin, that then increases endorphins. And endorphins make us feel happy. It's a chemical change that goes on in our brain. How exciting is that, that you then have a tool that can do that? The reason why this can also impact on the root cause is because it not only supports the body's physical needs, but also supports with the emotional needs. And we don't get secondary side effects, which is really exciting. So are you ready? So this is the key thing. Number one thing about essential oils is they are 100% natural and safe. Now, the crazy thing about the essential oil world is that there are hundreds and hundreds of different essential oil companies out there. And sadly, the legislation of essential oils is that it is a tiny percentage required in those bottles, like a really tiny percentage. It's about 4%, which is super low. And they're allowed to put a label on that bottle that says 100% pure lavender, for example. And it's not required to be 100% because they only need to get that benchmark of just about 4%. So when you pick up that bottle and have a go with that oil, it's super frustrating because you don't get the results, and then you feel disheartened about what essential oils can actually do. That is where doTERRA come in. They are 100% so powerful. They're then able to support on so many different levels. So looking at why they are so different, doTERRA source their oils where they're supposed to grow. So directly from the source in their indigenous environment, so where they're meant to be. And what this does is it actually creates, similar to strawberries, and many of you may have had a strawberry in season and out of season. And the strawberry that's out of season may look red and plump, and you think, oh yeah, this is going to taste amazing. I can't wait to have my strawberry. And then you bite into it and it's like, oh, it's like watery, doesn't have much flavor at all. It's exactly the same thing for the essential oils. So these essential oils need to grow where they're supposed to grow. And that's where doTERRA get them. And that is really exciting. So they're harvested at the right time and they're collected from where they're supposed to be. What does that mean for us? That means we get the most potent, but also it saves us money. It saves us money because we only need that 1 drop for each application. And that's really brilliant. Okay, so the other thing that's really awesome about them is that they're 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. So instead of having had to have loads and loads of herbs, you're able to just have that one drop of the essential oil. The other thing that's really awesome about it is that they are absolutely verified free from any fillers, any harmful contaminants at all. A frequent question might be, are doTERRA essential oils organic? Now, organic is a certification. Now, with a certification, there's a lot of money involved. What doTERRA are telling us, and actually you can look at the scientific research, you can look at all of their tests, is that there's absolutely nothing added, nothing taken away at all from these oils. They are absolutely as nature intended. But the countries that they get them in, a lot of them are developing countries. And so that label, organic, is not something that they actually need, since they are from those environments where there's no pesticides, there's none of that at all going on. And again, so at the bottom of, let me put the lid on this before I turn it and show you. So like at the bottom, I don't know if you can see, it's quite hard to see, at the bottom of every bottle, there's a barcode, and there's a website called Source to You, and you can literally type your barcode in and you can literally see from source all the way to you, which is really, really exciting. They literally do their tests in-house, and these are really stringent tests. And then they don't do it just for themselves, they send it out for third-party testing. The reason why that's really important is because it means that at every single level and every single stage, doTERRA want what's pure and what's perfect, and they will not cut corners. So that's the first thing. Okay, the second really awesome thing about these essential oils is that they can be more effective. Now, more effective is a really awesome thing to be able to say. And I'm going to explain a little bit about the science why that's what we say. So on this image, you can see the little bacteria here on the outside, and then there's a virus inside the cell here. Now, you will have heard about antibiotics. If you go to the doctors and you're feeling unwell in that way, it's usually a bacterial infection or a viral infection. But basically, the bacteria is on the outside of the cell, and the virus inserts itself inside the cell. Now, oregano and tea tree melaleuca are really powerful nature's antibiotics. So they come together, the tea tree comes in and clears the sludge the bacteria creates around itself, and the oregano comes in and lyses it, and it basically just explodes, basically. And it's amazing. So once this happens, it can no longer multiply. You are not going to be getting more and more poorly feeling. So the other really, really awesome essential oil that can also support with that is On Guard. Now, On Guard is also called the protective blend. It's like on guard, and I love it because it's to support with airborne threats, any sort of threats whatsoever. And it will also do the same job and support with oregano and melaleuca. But the thing that is absolutely amazing about these essential oils is that water-soluble medication, like our antibiotics, cannot get to the viruses. So if you go to the doctor and the doctor tells you it's a virus, what do they say? They can't give you anything. So they tell you to go home, rest, drink plenty of water. And you just feel so frustrated because you feel powerless. You feel like, what? I needed help and nothing's helping me. This is so frustrating. I remember it so well. But what these can do is they can actually penetrate the cell membrane wall and actually get to the virus inside the cell. How cool is that? So a virus is inside the cell and it actually can get to it. And that is something that I'm really excited about. Now, one of the, what we talk about is really important because it's all about the science. And I love science. I love knowing why things work. And that's what's really empowering about doTERRA is their huge focus on the scientific evidence. There's a website called PubMed. Now, anybody who's studied medicine, so GPs, etc., they will know this website because it's where they will have had to do a lot of their case studies from. But actually, what's really exciting is that you've got all these case studies actually even on guard. So if you go to PubMed and put in on guard, you can actually see all the case study in there, and it's awesome. So if you're really into science and research, then definitely do that. So PubMed on guard, it's a really great, the research is amazing. So the next one is, so number 3 is that they are super cost effective. So I spoke about how potent they were earlier and why that makes it so cost effective. But anything we have going on, it's a drop per application. So for example, if you have an issue with your ears, for example, then you would use lavender and melaleuca. Really, really powerful essential oils to support with that. That was something that we dealt with a lot as a family, and to the point where they actually knew us at the out of hours hospital because we were there so frequently, and it was often ears that was the problem for my middle son. And I remember it was probably about 4.5 years ago, the last time that this had occurred for him, and he ran in around 2 o'clock in the morning with really sore ear, crying, and so I got those 2 oils, I massaged them around his ear, put it, just not dropping it in because we don't drop oils in the ears, but massaging it around the eardrum, not the eardrum, the entrance to the ear, sorry. And literally that was about 2 a.m. He went back to his room. Now historically he would be in every half an hour, to the point where he was in too much pain, and so we just had to go to the hospital. This time he did not come back in. Of course, I'd fallen asleep and woke up in the morning like, wow, he didn't come back in again, that's unbelievable. Went into his room and I said, Matthew, how's your ear? And he said, why? I just thought, oh my goodness, like, why? So not only had it like dealt with it, but it dealt with it so well, he wasn't even aware that it was there. Now, usually that was 3 to 4 days, we'd have major issues. So that was a huge thing for me. Another thing that many of you might be dealing with right now is the seasonal threats. So the itchy eyes, the itchy nose, the sneezing, all of that. That is a really frustrating one for so many people. Lavender, lemon and peppermint, altogether they're actually a natural antihistamine, super powerful, these are oils, and you would literally put 1 drop of each in your hands, rub it together, inhale, pop it on the back of your neck. You can then drop it in water as well, so powerful and relieves it so quickly. And because it's not something like, it's not a drug, you can use it as frequently as you want, and it's from tiny, from really, really young. So it's such an exciting blend that you can use. So again, you can see how cheap that is. Think about the different things that you may be using for that and how much they cost. You can see how cheap that lavender, lemon and peppermint are altogether. Pennies, they're literally pennies. Okay, so the next one is looking at, well, how do we actually use them? So there's 3 ways to use doTERRA essential oils, and the first way is aromatically. Aromatically is exactly what we did, so breathing it in. It's a really, really powerful way, the most powerful way to affect mood. So if you are feeling low mood or with anxious feelings, or somebody's feeling really frustrated, or any of those emotions at all, you can pick up an essential oil and just breathe it in, putting it on your hands and inhaling, or just breathing it in like that. Another way is that you can use it in a diffuser. And the diffuser is a really great way of using it because you can impact on everybody in the room, even without them knowing. So if you have anybody particularly in your family that are struggling or they're particularly grumpy right now, then how cool is it that you can just put a couple of drops in the diffuser and actually impact on the mood in the whole room. It's a really great one to use. Wild orange is a lovely one to use in that way. Then you've got On Guard. Now, On Guard is that we talked about that protective blend. Diffusing that in the home is supporting with any airborne threats that may be there. So really great way to use it. Then we've got lavender. Now, lavender is one of those really lovely oils it supports. So we've already said hay fever, so like those seasonal threats, it's really powerful for that. But also any skin cuts, grazes, anything like that, stinging nettles. We actually saw it coming down when my niece fell in a hole. She literally rolled into stinging nettles, and it was all up her arm. And thankfully we had our lavender. We literally put a couple of drops and rubbed it down her arm, and we saw them disappear. It was unbelievable. Very, very powerful oil for those sorts of things, but also for calming. So if you need that calming effect, this is really, really good. So at bedtime, this is a great one to diffuse. And if anybody snores in your household, having a diffuser with air, which is the respiratory blend, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, with lavender together is such a powerful blend to be having to support with that as well. So the second way is topically, putting it directly on the source of pain or directly to the area needed. So for example, we've got air written here as well, so that's the one I just mentioned. Putting that directly on the chest, if you need to open those airways, is a really, really powerful one. But there are some people who deal with continuous respiratory issues that are really intense. And this is actually one of the biggest experiences that, you know, one of my friends had, where her little boy was hospitalized weekly because he was struggling so much with his respiratory issues. And basically what happened was they got to the hospital once and they said, look, you need to actually prepare yourself that you may not make it. And to be told that as a parent, so he was only 2 at the time, he's now 6, but to be told that, you know, you need to prepare yourself, this, you know, they were like, right, we've got to find something else. And so they found doTERRA, and they started using doTERRA air and frankincense on the chest and on his back, morning and night, just as a routine thing that they were doing. And he was scanned every 3 months on his chest because his bronchioles were so bad. So they went after only 2 months, and the specialist said, whatever you are doing, do not stop, because we have never seen such a massive improvement. And his was deteriorating so badly, and they'd seen a huge improvement, which is just amazing. Now he's now 6. They have done that as a protocol that they use for him for every morning, every night. If he gets a cough or a cold, because of course little people do, then they just diffuse more of it for him and support him more with it. He's on none of the puffers, he's on none of those things, and they have literally supported him with that. So it's just, for her, obviously, this is a huge, huge deal. Then you've got frankincense. So frankincense is the king of all oils. If you're not sure which oil to use, just use frankincense, because it is so diverse. It literally covers every element, really, because it's such a complex oil. And there's a reason why it's called the king of all oils. Again, I mentioned PubMed earlier. This is another one that's really amazing to look at on PubMed. There's some super research, scientific research on the things that frankincense can do. So if you are, again, interested to discover those, do have a look. Frankincense essential oils, anything brain. So if it's mood, if it's connections. So again, I always talk about my middle son. He's a little superstar, and we have been absolutely grateful to have these essential oils. Now he struggles sometimes with behavioural issues, and he's on the potential autistic spectrum. There's still lots of things that we're, you know, discovering about him. And when he has a complete and utter meltdown, now this could be an adult as well, this can be us as well, but when he has these complete meltdowns where he's kind of lost control of what he's doing, we literally take the frankincense, literally just tilt it like this, then put it on the back of his neck, and within a few minutes, literally, he takes a big breath in and he goes, oh, sorry about that. And every time we just kind of go, whoa, Thank goodness for frankincense every single time. And yeah, so for us, again, like I can't, you know, say it enough, this has totally transformed our lives. But also, you know, emotionally, this one, if you are feeling really, really low, this is a really powerful one to support with that. Or any children that struggle with kind of focus or anything like that, it's a really powerful oil to use. Then you've got deep blue. This one's an amazing oil for any aches or pains. So anything that you've got going on that might be hurting or inflamed or anything like that, really powerful. But also pre-workout, post-workout, it supports with the recovery. Head tension, it's really powerful for head tension as well. And actually menstrual cycle, it can really support with that as well, because any pain and inflammation. You can use all of these with fractionated coconut oil, because it enables it, instead of it going straight into your body's cells, it actually sits it on the skin and it absorbs it more slowly. So it's a really powerful one. Then we've got, third way is internally. Now, internally is amazing. So you can literally take your water, and I've already put a drop of lemon in my water, and you can drink it. And basically, it's a really, really powerful way to cleanse the body. But also lemon is a powerful mood lifter, similar to wild orange. Really, really powerful oil. It's actually my all-time favorite. I wear it, I literally wear it as a perfume. I wear it in my hair. The only thing to mention as well, because it being so sunny, is that actually the citrus oils can actually increase photosensitivity. So in this kind of sunny environment, I won't use it anywhere where my skin is exposed. So I might put it on my tummy. You know, you just kind of think, well, where is it that I'm not going to have the sunlight on? Then you've got Zengest. Zengest is an amazing essential oil, one of those oils that you would never want to be without in your handbag, because it doesn't matter what's going on. If you've eaten something that maybe your body's not used to, or you've traveled somewhere and you know you've used or eaten food that you don't necessarily normally have, Zengest is a really powerful one for anything digestive. So if you have regular discomfort, stomach discomfort, and that's something that's kind of happens to you every time you eat, then this is a really, really powerful one to be able to support with that. You've also got for motion sickness. This is a really powerful one for motion sickness. I experienced this in September last year, and I hadn't been on a boat for a very long time, because I actually felt nauseous for 3 days after stepping on a barge for a few minutes. That's how intense my nausea is. And so I was with my friend, and we were like, yeah, we're going to go on a boat. And I remember feeling like, oh my goodness, please let this help me enough that I'm not going to feel really sick and actually be sick. And it was amazing. It was amazing. So I literally put it down here on my chest here. I actually had some in water, and I put it on my tummy. I was like, I'm going to cover all bases. And it was unbelievable. I was on this boat, and this was not a smooth ride at all on the boat, and it was fine. So that one, really powerful for motion sickness. Okay, so the other thing that I want to talk about is, even though doTERRA essential oil, so it is an essential oil company, the Life and Vitality Pack is one of the biggest changes and impacting products that doTERRA do. They are actually the #1 selling product they do. And that's because, the reason that is because they have the biggest impact on the most people. So if you are low energy, if you are struggling with anything really chronic, the foundation of all health is nutrition. And if we can get our nutrition right, then our body can do amazing things. And that's what this is all about. Now, similar to the essential oils, that there's so many essential oils out there that are not really how they should be. It's very similar for the supplements. Now, the supplements sadly, there are absolutely loads and loads out there that are completely synthetic. Like, there's nothing natural about them at all. Now, so I learned this, the training that I had on this was from a chemist, and she basically simplified this really, really clearly. And I just think I'm going to share that with you so you can kind of see and understand why this makes a big difference. So in our cells, we have little doors designed specifically to absorb different vitamins and minerals. So for example, a door for vitamin C, a door for vitamin D, etc. If you take a synthetic supplement in, that door kind of goes, you're not actually vitamin C, you're not coming in, and closes. And what that means is that the body's natural ability to absorb those vitamins and minerals is reduced. So actually it becomes a toxicity, it becomes a toxic load in our body, and it can create this intense energy or boost, and then we get a crash, because that's what those synthetic ones will do. Whereas these are plant-based, and so what they will do is they can actually be absorbed as a food source, which is really exciting. So the little doors are like, yes, you are actually vitamin D, and on the back of the supplements, in brackets beside each of the vitamins and minerals, there's the explanation of the bioavailable source of these vitamins and minerals, which is amazing. It does not happen on any supplements. And so what our body's able to do is take them in and really, really support us effectively. And you can see from this huge list, like, what is missing from there to not function. So it just literally covers all bases. So anything that you have going on. For me, I didn't really have anything massive going on, but I just always needed a nap. I was always tired in the afternoon. I just felt like, oh, great, I've got probably 25 minutes. I can fit in a nap. And this was when my boys were quite a bit older. I've got 3 boys. My youngest is 6. And I just felt such low energy. I felt like grumpy because I was so low energy, and my moods were kind of all over the place. And this literally, it energized me so much. It stabilized my mood, my cycle regulated. It literally kind of helped me to become the best version of myself. And that's what we really all want to be, the best versions of ourselves. And especially right now, it's important, isn't it, to be the best versions of ourselves. So there's 3 ways to purchase doTERRA. The first way is retail. It's the most expensive, and I've never helped anybody purchase retail because it's not good value. The second way is to get a customer account for £24, and then you get 25% off everything. So this is a huge saving. That's like literally a quarter off. It's amazing. The third way, and the most cost-effective way, is to get a kit. Now, these kits actually come with that wholesale customer account included, which means you save that £24 straight away. And then all of the oils within those sets are reduced even further. So it's a much bigger saving, and it's by far the best value way of getting them. So some of the kits that we have available, they do go much bigger, but these are 2 of the really popular ones that we have. And that's because they're the top 10 core essential oils. So all of the oils that we've spoken about this evening, they are here. And so the difference between these 2 kits, just so that you can see, is that these are 5 mils and these are 15 mils. So this is less than twice the price, but 3 times the amount of essential oils and a free diffuser. So this kit here is by far the best value one. The other thing that you have available to you is that you don't just get your oils and then that's it. You have all of these resources, continued education, and these are amazing. I love the continued education classes. They're all about, you know, hormone balancing, green cleaning, just all of the different aspects of our lives where we can actually reduce the toxicity in our lives. And it's really, really empowering when you get to just keep learning, and it's all for free and it's supported. We also have My Oil Community. If you are not a member of My Oil Community, please reach out to the person who invited you on this class, because it's such a powerful resource where you can literally ask questions, and there's so many people in there that will have had an experience. You know, not all of us have the same experiences, but when there's a group of people all with like-minded wanting to look for natural approaches, then there's going to be somebody in there that will have experienced it, and that's really exciting. And we also, as a gift from us, for you using the oils, we also support even further by gifting you the Dropperly app, which is like an A to Z guide. So you can kind of go, right, what's going on? Look it up on your phone, and you're like, right, which oils do I need? Yeah, I've got the, for example, here, let's write here, or hay fever, I've got lavender, lemon, and peppermint. Perfect. Okay. So there's 3 types of people that would have been on this evening. So the first, you might be somebody who's kind of already started that wellness lifestyle. You've already started on this journey, and this is something that you can totally see will just integrate into a natural approach to living. And that's really, really wonderful, and we can help you to get started in that way. The second person that might have been on here thinking, do you know what, actually, these oils could actually help a number of people that I know. You might know somebody who has, you know, maybe their children struggle with respiratory issues, or maybe there's somebody that you know that's in a lot of pain. So, or you may have thought, actually, you know, I think that I could really help more people by sharing these essential oils and make a massive impact. There are so many people looking for these essential oils. I'm so grateful that I discovered them. The changes that have happened in my household alone, just because somebody told me about these essential oils, is unbelievable. And that's where it's such, I love this job. We get to help people to improve their lives using these really powerful essential oils. And then we get paid for it. I would have been talking and shouting about these essential oils regardless of that. But this is an amazing way to actually earn an income as well. So what happens now? So what I need you to do, and this is where we're gonna, if you can text the person who's invited you to this class, the 3 health areas that you're working on to be entered into a draw for a free wild orange. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to put in the chat if you have sent the text. Okay, so put in the chat if you've sent the text, or if the person's on the call this evening that has invited you, then they can put in the text that yes, that you have done it. And then I will be choosing a winner from the chat. You will then receive an email. If you logged in and you booked on Eventbrite, you will receive an email with the order form so that you can get started. And then the person who invited you will give you a call, give you a text, give you an opportunity to actually go through this. It's so important that you talk about what you've discovered and what you've experienced this evening. So I can see the chat going. And then also what a really, really great thing to do is to just kind of, maybe you could text them to say what your availability is. So you could maybe text your top 3 health concerns and then say, actually tomorrow would work best for me, or tonight would work best for me. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And okay, stop sharing my screen. Okay, so, oh. Okay, so some of you may be thinking, well, why doTERRA? Why would doTERRA work as a business, and what makes it effective now? Well, what most people don't know is that actually doTERRA grew at the same rate as Apple. Now, we've all heard of Apple. Most of us have an Apple device at somewhere in their home. And actually, in 7 years, doTERRA was a $1 billion company the same way that Apple was. But what's amazing about it is that hardly anybody has heard of doTERRA. And the reason why is because these products work. So there's an impact and a ripple effect that happens within, families and communities, and that is so, so powerful. They are now the largest essential oil company in the world. They're the most tested, the most trusted oils on the market. They're used by doctors and hospitals worldwide. They're ethically and sustainably sourced. So down there at the bottom, you've got some of the amazing things that doTERRA do within partnership with the farmers, and it's called co-impact sourcing. There's amazing videos on there that you can look at and discover more about how that works. And then you've got the Healing Hands Foundation. Again, a beautiful way that doTERRA are really supporting both ends of the bottle and having a massive impact. They work directly with the farmers. The reason that's important is that there's no middlemen in between. You know from the beginning to the end where these essential oils are coming from and where they've gone. They're open in 120 plus markets. What that means is it doesn't matter where you know people, where your family and friends are, you can absolutely share these essential oils with them, which is so exciting. The compensation plan is genius. You get rewarded for the work that you do, and that again, in many jobs, you could work as hard as a dog and the person next to you may not and still earn the same thing. doTERRA literally rewards you for the work that you put in, and that's really exciting. We have a super high retention rate. Now, that's customer loyalty. When somebody starts using doTERRA essential oils, they're there for the long run. They realize that actually this can support them and their family in such a powerful way in so many areas and actually save money. Green cleaning is the #1 way to save loads of money in your home. It is really, really effective, super safe, smells amazing, lifts your mood at the same time, but so, so cost effective. It's a privately owned company. Well, what that means is nobody's going to take it away from them. Nobody's going to say, actually, we're going to stop this right now. They own it and they can control exactly what's going on. The partnership team is amazing. They're totally debt-free with no outside funding, and they're grounded in science. It's so important that we have all of the backing and the knowledge that we do. So questions that you might have is, how do I make money? How much time is involved? And could it work for me? And what's the next steps? So we make money by supporting people to experience these oils. So we gift samples. We give those samples for the needs that they have. Then we teach why these oils work as they do. Then people will choose what set they'd start with, and then we support them with that learning and continued education. And it's a journey. People learn and love to use these oils, and that's how we make money. So what's the income potential? Now, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme by any means. Work is work, and you get, like I said, you get paid for the work that you do, and I absolutely love that. So you can see the different kind of the hours and then the average income and then the time to reach those incomes. And you can see that it goes up to a really, really large amount of monthly income. And that's not capped. That's not the maximum. You can still keep going, and many people still have. And that's really, really exciting. It's not kind of a pocket money type of business. It is a real income business. And it's a residual income business. So you can see at the bottom here, you've got reducing hours instead of increasing hours. So even from diamond to blue diamond to presidential diamond, those hours go down. There's not many businesses that I know of that you increase the income and reduce your hours. So how much time is involved? So if you want to get your oils paid for, then 3 to 5 hours a week. If you want to supplement your income, 5 to 15 hours a week. And if you want to replace your income, 15 to 30 hours a week. So could this work for me? So are you passionate about natural things? Are you passionate about essential oils? Do you love people? Do you love helping people? Do you find it exciting when you discover a way that's going to help somebody? Can you follow a system and get things done? So if any of these areas you think, yes, that's me, then we can support you with this. So the next step is, if you have already got an account, then reach out to the person who's invited you. If you don't have an account, then it's looking at, well, how do you get started? What set of oils is going to support you the most in this? We can then plug you in. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's amazing systems, proven track record systems in place that we can utilize to get results. And then you start figuring out, well, who could these oils help? And you start making your list of the people that these oils could help. And that one's really, really fun, because you can kind of see straight away how many people that you know that these oils could help. And doTERRA's focus is on getting the best so that we can help the most. And I absolutely love that. They pursue what's pure and they don't cut corners. doTERRA's CEO recently said, you know, often doing what's right is hardest, but that's how it is. And they will continue to do what's right, even if it is the hardest. So thank you so much for joining me this evening. So I'm just going to stop the recording.